the term fiscal policy. So what comes to your mind? By far, you have been aware with the various principles related to the mechanism of monetary policy, right? So where you tend to saw various tools which RBI or for that matter central bank used in order to control any form of disturbance, any deviation from your economic growth path trajectory. So as alone monetary policy cannot control those disturbances. So that is why it is really essential to take ahead the journey with the policy which is related to your fiscal matters. So when you term it as fisc is something, any idea what does the fisc mean? What is the literal meaning of fisc?
Ma'am, money.
Money. Anyone else?
Treasury.
Treasury. Yes.
Treasury.
The better way to put forth is treasury, khajana, right? Government ka khajana. That is what is fisc. Now tell me, who fills up the treasury of the government and what components fills out the treasury of the government? In a very simple manner, from where does the rupee comes from and where do it go?
The rupee comes from the tax collected and
And
yes, ma'am.
yes, yes.
Ma'am, go out for the welfare of the people, welfare and the development of the people.
Anyone else? From where does the rupee comes from and where is it going to?
Ma'am, it comes from incomes of the government and it goes to the expenditures.
Okay. So then what are the various sources of income for the government? Let us break it even further.
Tax,
Tax collection.
taxes,
Disinvestment.
import
Yes, disinvestment. Very good. And
from
just
export,
export, but export in what form? From
goods
export, what
and
do you earn?
services,
What do you earn?
money,
Ma'am,
export duties.
Yes. See, we have to be very, very specific in our reasoning now. You cannot be
Yes,
generic.
ma'am.
Export duties, right? Export duties, custom duties, various excise duties, right? So are they not a component of filling into the treasury of the government?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can see these two pathways, one pathway which is through taxes, all form of taxes, be it direct taxes, be it indirect taxes, be it the taxes generated through in the form of duties, right? So all are fill-ins to your treasury, where the money is coming from. Even disinvestment, as one of you mentioned, the money where it is going is the spending part, that is your expenditure part. There are various types of expenditure which government carries out in the form of developmental expenditure, in the form of non-developmental expenditure, for budgetary allocation, for defense, for paying off debt, for paying off interest rates. So there is a lot of money which is going for the spending part. So whenever you see a kind of deviation between the earning part and the spending part, then the deficit emerges, right? So whether this deficit is called as fiscal deficit or something else, that is what we are going to take it up further. So as a matter of fact, the term fiscal policy, when you say very famous quote, which was given by Kaushik Basu, the former chief economic advisor. So in view of him, fiscal policy is something which deals with the level of taxation, the expenditure decisions of the government. It includes varied tax policy, which keeps on changing depending upon the economic scenario. It also includes various expenditure policy in terms of either boosting expenditure or to cut down expenditure. It also includes various investment and disinvestment strategies. You might have been aware for the past 1 year now, many PSUs where the government was trying to disinvest Air India and many public sector banks. So in that sense, the amount of liquidity which is going to be earned through disinvestment, so that is also going to fill in the treasury of our government. Apart from that, the government also resorts to various surplus and debt management. So technically, all these things, either it is taxation or it is government expenditure or it is borrowing or it is deficit financing, these are typically those which are related to your fiscal instruments, which you can term it as the various tools of fiscal policy with whom you are trying to achieve the various macroeconomic goals. So for that matter, every economy runs with its own fisc, runs with its own treasury, central government as well as state government. It does not mean that only center maintains with its fiscal powers. Every state has its fisc, treasury, right? So every state has a state deficit, have every center that accumulates up to the central deficit. So in that sense, whenever you are taking up a matter of discussion for framing out the fiscal mechanism, so this decision has to be taken in sync with whatever scenarios the economy is facing through. And what for? To achieve the various macroeconomic goals. Swagat, can you just mention which are the various macroeconomic goals which we are trying to achieve here?
Yes, ma'am.
Swagat, can you name few of the macroeconomic goals which you are trying to achieve? What are the various macroeconomic goals which you are trying to achieve with the help of fiscal policy? Yes, Tarini.
Inflation.
Ma'am, employment and economic growth.
Ma'am, inflation.
Inflation what? Inflation, it is really a big, what you want to control inflation, you want to
Low
Lower,
inflation.
lower,
Low
lower
inflation.
inflation.
you want to regulate inflation, what you want to do?
We have to lessen means low inflation.
You want to regulate inflation, right? So from that you will bring about macroeconomic stability. Yes, what else?
And stabilize exchange rate.
Yes, to bring out stability in our exchange rate. As you might be knowing, currently US ka sabse biggest threat, what is, do you know?
China.
Huh? What is the biggest
China.
threat? China, but put it in a better way.
Exchange rate
I'll
turning
say-
into
currency.
It's currency.
UN rate.
Yes,
Yeah.
the US dollar rate, the depreciation of currency of US dollar is the biggest threat which US is having an apprehension of, and it is also having the pressure about that. Why is it so? Even if we are saying
China
that,
is China is increasing his currency's importance
how
in front of the nation.
how it is increasing?
From
By
with
asking for payments
export.
in the yen.
Hmm?
Asking for payments in the yen, ma'am. in the
Yes.
currency.
So China, whatever transactions is it making with other worlds, with other countries, the transaction is being done at Chinese yuan, right? So right now you see the level of internet users. It has taken a quantum jump. Work from home has increased. So the telcos are raising in mullahs, right? So as a result, those cable wires, either it is Geo fiber or it is any other BSNL fiber, it's what kind of cable What kind of connectivity, from where from it is coming? It is all made in China, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever countries they are denying not to have, but still are they not relying upon China for its trade, for its requirement? So China had made it mandate that it will accept the currency for the transaction in the form of yuan. As a result, what will happen? The demand for yuan in the market will increase. So if the demand for yuan increases, don't you think that it will result in the appreciation of the currency? So always the simple demand and supply philosophy works well. Whenever you will find that those factors which work in imprompting or in enhancing the level of demand for a currency even, it will result in appreciation. And if the same factor work negatively, which will result in depreciation of the currency. Last class also I was talking about the inclusion of the third economy, which is the virtual currency economy. Yes. So how countries are again trying to be powerful by acquiring more and more virtual currencies. Tesla recently, it is trying to transact in the form of virtual currencies, because that is what is going to be next power. So in that sense, all of them, they are a factor which is governing to bring about the intended economic growth, to ensure level of employment, to bring about stabilization. That is what is basically the macroeconomic goals which we are intending to achieve. So as far as fix is concerned, we are trying to achieve it by certain amount of changing our policies in terms of the expenses. So right now, you see most of the economies, they have rather gone for boosting the government expenditures. That is why in case of our, it has created a certain amount of fiscal deficit, which has reached up to 9.5% of the GDP. So fiscal policy is a very, very influential tool of the government, and it involves a trade-off in the sense that how you are going to use this tool in order to curtail a recessionary environment, and so as to curtail a inflationary situation. So typically, if you are seeing any economy which is going to hit a recessionary situation, how can fiscal policy help in reviving the scenario?
And by higher level of investment and producing high employment rates.
Ma'am, CPI.
But how you will enhance the employment rate? What
High
is,
expenditure,
Performance.
public expenditure.
huh? Yes. Employment, how you are going to generate more employment? What is the process of generating employment? But खाली बोल देने से तो employment
And
नहीं हो
creating
जाएगा.
organizations.
But before creating, how will you create organizations? There has to be a continuous push, continuous source of investment. We are calling for FDIs, we are calling for FPIs, we are calling for FIIs, foreign direct investment, foreign portfolios investment, and foreign institutional investment. So through investment channels only, you will open up new workplace, and that new workplace will require new employment, right? So that is how you are trying to achieve a recessionary, trying to wipe out that through enhancing the level of expenses, and that will actually neutralize the level of the falling prices. Again, during the time of inflation, you just conduct the opposite activities. You will not try to go for certain boosting mechanism of going for further investment channels, which can aggravate your inflationary position. So that is what continuously what you are trying to do. You are trying to maintain a trade-off between hiring prices or lowering prices, between hiring employment or lowering employment, between raising investment or lowering investment, between raising expenditure or lowering expenditure. So this is what? This is a kind of trade-off mechanism which is continuously, it works in a dynamic fashion. So particularly those objectives which we had laid out in order to achieve through monetary policy, in fact, the same objectives also remains the same for achieving, to be achieved by the help of fiscal policy. So this is what we were intending to explain, that is where the rupee comes from and where is it going to. So you can look into the various channels of entries or inflows in the form of capital receipts as well as in the form of revenue receipts. So revenue receipts in the form of taxes, in the form of non-taxes, in the form of the various corporation tax, income tax, custom duties, excise duties, service tax, non-tax revenue. Right now you can see that this non-tax revenue component, it has increased a lot. Any kind of fine collection of wearing not a mask, not having proper license, not having a pollution, not having a seat belt, traveling without, even the pillion drivers without helmet, thousands of
And the
fines.
fastags.
Huh?
And the fastag also.
So all these things, yes, all these things are they not including or inclusion of filling into the fisc of the government? So this is a very, very
Yes,
major
ma'am.
which has been a source of non-tax revenue. Your S-sheets is another major source of non-tax revenue. S-sheets are what? Basically, you might have seen certain Benami property, suppose certain properties which do not have any legal hire. So in that sense, those property are taken over by whom? By the government.
Ma'am.
So those property without having any form of legal hire, they are the occupancy of the government. As a result, that also become a part of revenue for the government. Amortization is another form of revenue which is non-tax revenue for the government. Again, what is amortization? Anyone? Any idea what is amortization? All of you have studied finance for one semester.
Intangibles,
Intangible.
I'm decreasing the
depreciation of intangibles.
No, that is not
decreasing the
amortization.
value.
What is amortization? You are being confused with another term. That is not amortization. How amortization can be a revenue for the government, a non-tax revenue, and government earns crores on amortization.
Ma'am, removal of NPS can be amortized.
Yes, that is one of the source of removal of NPS.
Yes, ma'am.
Amortization, but what actually, how does it work?
Ma'am, writing off basically. Writing
Yes.
off an asset.
In a simple language, writing off. Suppose मैंने 30
I'm
साल का
confused
loan
between
लिया हुआ है.
I'm
हाँ.
confused between depreciation and amortization.
Yes. Those depreciation, how many times I have told about depreciation? Since GDP, we have been leading about depreciation, wear and tear charges. Amortization is completely writing off. Suppose I am taking a loan for 30 years with against a collateral. So 30th year, that is end of the year, my loan will be written off, provided I clear all my dues. So that is what is amortization, right? So a higher amount of amortization will result in lowering our NPS. That is one of the scales which government has adapted to in order to clear all its bad debts. So these are basically where are the sources where the money comes in or the rupee comes in into the treasury. Come to my right hand side where you see the sources of all our expenses going out in the form of budgetary, in the form of developmental expenditure, in the form of non-developmental expenditure, in the form of for defense, for center, for state, for paying of interest. We are using more than 20% of our funds only for paying interest. Do you know? Current year interest. On top of that, previous year financial year interest का भी interest रहता है. So interest upon interest. So that is by piling upon our interest pressure. So this is what again accumulates our deficit. So this is the sources where the money is going out. Developmental and non-developmental expenditure is a major concern for the government. So developmental expenditure, as you know, all those activities where there is direct source of development, right? I built a road. This is development. I invest in infrastructure. I invest in health. I invest on giving COVID vaccines. So these are all developmental mechanism schemes of the government, right? What about non-developmental expenditures? What are included in the non-developmental expenditures? Non-developmental expenditures are those which do not directly contribute for economic development, but still then they are incurred in a huge amount, like
Subsidies, ma'am.
subsidies, yes, and
Pension.
okay, all your social securities. Okay.
Yes,
Ma'am,
yes.
tourism will come under?
Developmental expenditure. The cost of printing notes, developmental
Yes.
or non-developmental? Huh?
Non-developmental.
The cost of any form
Non-developmental.
of riot, any form of maintaining of legal law and order, developmental or non-developmental?
Developmental.
Non-developmental.
Developmental.
The amount
Non-developmental.
of expenditure which are spent on for elections, developmental or non-developmental? So directly all this
Non-developmental.
expenditure do not contribute to the developmental activities, but still then these are the expenditure. So you cannot negate them. So there is what is the major source of outflows, right? So whenever there is a gap between where the rupee comes from and where the rupee goes to, what do you get?
Surplus or
Suppose
deficit?
this side is more than that of this side. What do you get?
Deficit.
Deficit.
Get a deficit. So what kind of deficit? That is different,
Trade.
but you get a deficit. Either you call it as fiscal deficit or some other deficit. I will just clarify it in a short moment. But before that, whenever if such kind of deficit emerges, again government has to resort to certain font of actions in terms of implementation of its tool. So this tool can carried out in different ways. One is through the exercise of a neutral policy mechanism. So neutral is something as if I'm not bothered what is happening. Let the economy allow a time space. Let the economy self-correct itself, right? So it is a situation when no interventions actually are done by the government. So automatically through certain built-in stabilizer forces, as you have built-in stabilizers in your AC, in your refrigerator, automatically they try to control the voltage or the power fluctuation. Similarly, economy also have certain self-correcting forces without any interventions given certain amount of time. During a normal situation, this kind of policy mechanism works, right? So a neutral policy mechanism is somewhat to do nothing, just chill, relax, let the economy try to adjust, self-adjust itself and correct. Number one. Number two is a mechanism where you go for an expansionary policy. So expansionary policy mechanism in the sense that you want to boost the economy which is slowing down. And typically when the economies are currently, right now, whatever phase we are going through, so this phase, essentially, you will go for an expansionary policy by enhancing government expenditure and by lowering the level of taxes. The third kind of policy practice which is used under FISC is a contractionary policy mechanism. So again, this contractionary policy will be a very, very efficient tool and it can be used during, yes, to curtail. Which scenario?
Inflation.
Inflation. To curtail an inflationary scenario, you can go for an contractionary policy mechanism. So with this knowledge, Let me just play a game with all of you. The rule of the
Ma'am?
game is, all of you just listen properly to the rule of the game. The rule of the game is, I'm coming in a minute after explaining the rule. So now that this will be a situational analysis, each one of you just imagine you are the prime minister or the finance minister of your country, and you have certain fiscal powers, right? So now you will exercise your power in order to assist the economy for its revival, to achieve its macroeconomic goals. So I will give you a set of 16 conditions, 16 situations, and you as a group, you have to decide that which policy mechanism will be essentially required in order to control that particular situation. One more important thing, just you have to take each situations, they are independent situation. None of the situations are interrelated. So therefore, while you are analyzing the situation, you have to treat it independently. Okay, so you have 4 fiscal powers with you. The option 1 is you can use expansionary policy if you are trying to grow the economy and create more jobs by lowering taxes and by increasing government expenditure. Option 2 is that you can use a contractionary policy where you are trying to slow down the economy in order to fight inflation or prevent the economy from overheating or collapsing. Option 3 is you can also go for a moral suasion. You have been seeing Prime Minister every week coming on Mann Ki Baat and giving his thoughts, ideas on how to create more savings, how to enhance the level of spending activities, how to be more careful so as to normalize the economic adversities. Option 4 is doing nothing. That is what I was just mentioning about exhorting to a neutral policy mechanism where you will find that the economy will have certain self-correcting operations and the economy will try to resolve the problem itself. So just a reminder again, expansion means grow economy through more job creation, through lowering taxes, through increasing investment. Contraction means you need to slow down the economy a bit, fight inflation, increase prices, higher taxes, and lower the government spending. So the rule of the game is that now I will be dividing you into different groups in different breakout rooms, right? 10 minutes, the window will open. Once you receive a notification, all of you have to join that breakout room and start discussing amongst yourself. Take a snapshot of this situations, of this 16 situation. Before I send you to the groups, all of you just take a snapshot of this 16 situation.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I have a doubt. Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, recently news in US, President Biden, he has been he has decided to increase the tax for the corporate world from 20 to I guess 32 or 34%. And meanwhile, he's also trying to increase investment on the infrastructure. So, ma'am, how is it being balanced and
Yes.
which kind of policy is he using?
This kind of policy, again, you have a situation where you will find a combination of, I'm not trying to spoil the game because the situation which you stated, exactly that situation I have given.
Related, ma'am.
I have
Yes,
given
ma'am.
already, it's there. So now I'm not going to disclose the answer. It's all in suspense. Okay. So those 16 situations which you are seeing, each situation has been thoroughly studied and I have picked up all those 16 situations which you can face an economy have faced through. Now, you as a policymaker, how will you try to control that? Right? That is what is the game is. Now, whatever decision you make as a group, it has to be uniform. It has to be unanimous. All of you has to agree to that. And when I call you back to the normal room and ask for the solution, you cannot change the solution. Let us take it as it's a spirit of a game, not for the purpose of gaining marks or losing marks. This will be interesting. And in the meanwhile, we will be also able to, through this brainstorming exercise, we can understand how fiscal policy works. Okay. So are you ready for the game to begin? Everyone? All of you have understood or any clarity required?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please scroll up little?
I'm doing it. So I am dividing you, since there are 42 participants, excluding me 41. So I am dividing you into 6 breakout rooms, right? So there has been 6 rooms, and every room has 7 students, except room number 6. It has 6 students. So once I open the room, all of you can enter the room, okay, and start your discussion. So let me again make you aware of the rules of the game. You have to imagine that you are the finance minister or the prime minister of the country, and you have certain fiscal powers with yourself. So now how you will exercise the different fiscal powers, thereby resorting yourself to the 4 different solutions which has been given to you. Now for different situation, which solution will be the best and why? ऐसे नहीं कि मैं contractionary choose कर दिया, expansionary choose कर दिया, मुझे करना है. No, there has to be a solid logic behind why you have chosen and how you are going to solve that problem your economy is grappling with. Okay, so I have randomly picked up those participants in every group. In breakout room number 1, we have Anirban, Devashish, Janjanmay, Neha, Ritu, Shakti, and Shubham. In room number 2, we have Somya, Abhijit, Chinmay, Namrita, Nishita, Priyanka, Bankil. In room number 3, we have Ankita, Akash, Vedant, Subhashish, Shwarupa, Trupti, Viplab. In room number 4, we have Anvesha, Varsha, Vishwaru, Pritesh, Shreya, Sushant, Swagat. Room number 5 has Saurajit, Bipul, Vishwa, Subhashish, Sushmita, Swagata, Tarini. And room number 6 have Vivek, Abhishek, Ashutosh, Moni Krishna, Priyabrat, and Priyanka Pradhan. So wake up, those who are inactive, those who are sleeping. I have opened the room. Now all of you join, and within next 10 minutes, I will close the room and you have to come up with your analysis to the entire classroom. This will show how many are active and how many are passive. All of you, please join your respective breakout rooms. We'll start the activity. The time starts now.
Bank.
Okay. Yes, anyone else?
Now it will bring the economy back to track by creating more jobs, and also the government has to lower the taxes in this because it has to increase the GDP. So that will create more job opportunities, and economy will revive slowly.
Okay, fine. So GDP has taken a drop from 5% to 2%. That was a major drop. So you feel that their activities has to be pumped up in terms of creating more opportunities, in terms of creating more investment channels. So that is why you want to expand and you go for a easy fiscal policy. Okay. So all the groups are rated equally for situation number 2. Situation 3 says that the CPI index inflation has risen by 3% in the last 6 months. CPI inflation has risen by 3% in the last 6 months. Only one answer. I have 1, 2. Three, rest 3.
Ma'am, I was not able to comprehend this sentence.
Abhishek, it says that CPI, Consumer Price Index inflation rate, it has increased by 6%, by 3%. Suppose currently the CPI rate is say below 5%. So tomorrow, if it increases to say 8%, so what will be the change you want to make? Rest 2, group quickly, give the answer. Only 4 of them have given. Swagat has given, Tarini has given, Vedant has given, Abhijit has given, Shakti has given, Abhishek. Okay. So all of them, they go for contractionary mechanism. Why do you think contractionary?
When to cause the inflation, we need to take out money from the economy.
Yes, ma'am.
CPI and
Because it
PPI are
creates
increasing means
inflation.
inflation is increasing, so it is resulting in overheating. So we think that
Overspending of the consumer in the market. So we have to.
Okay. So all of you go with that explanation. Any other explanation? See, there should be sufficient explanation. It is not that only this thing. Any other reason? Because CPI is a sign of inflation. Rising CPI is a sign of inflation, of course, yes. Rest group members, why are you idle? It is not that the activity was to create an interest in terms of putting up your own logic and analysis.
Ma'am, I think that should be tight money policy, which will be resulting in increasing the amount of interest people must be paying when they borrow money. So if they have to pay more to borrow money, then they have to pay. They have less money to spend, and if people spend less, then the prices should decrease over time, and the CPI, that is CPI and PPI, will also drop.
Exactly. So that is what the mechanism says, that if the rate of inflation keeps on increasing, and 3% is not a small rate, so that needs certain amount of power exercise, may not be an aggressive change, but again a milder change, but the change has to be in a hike side. It has to result in hiking taxation, it has to result in lowering the expenses or mobilizing the debt. So that will be somewhat helpful in terms of healing the inflationary situation. Okay, so again, this situation, since all of you have given it correct, is it a mutual agreement amongst the group? Huh? Some kind of match fixing?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Situation number 4 said that commercial interest rates are rising, but the Fed, that is your Federal Reserve Bank, has not raised rates. For the situation number 4, yes, your answer. Yes, 2 more responses remaining. Abhishek. Okay, Shakti. One more. So all of you have given your responses. Yes, now come with your explanation. Rest of you says expansionary and Abhishek and Shakti says doing nothing. So why do you say so?
Ma'am, commercial bank rates have risen, but it is not necessary that federal bank should also increase the rates. Ma'am, because like if the commercial bank like when they will be needing money at that point of time, maybe the federal bank will increase the interest. So I'll go with doing nothing.
Okay. What is the reason, Abhishek?
Ma'am, I also felt the same. Ma'am, there is no relation why commercial bank will be doing anything for.
Okay.
So I felt to do nothing, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, if rates are higher, then people will won't be taking loan from the bank. So, ma'am, yeah, we have to go for expansion by lowering the rates, ma'am. That's why.
Okay. Others?
Ma'am, this has actually happened in 2019 or something. Like I don't remember exactly, but this was a case which happened in 2019, where commercial bank increased the rates, but RBI didn't.
Yes. All of these cases are actual cases or situation which I have given you. So you as policymaker, how you are going to control this? Is rest of you those who go with expansionary? Why do you go? What is the logic?
Ma'am,
Yes.
if the Ma'am, if the Fed is not increasing the rates, then they will have the benefit of commercial banks can borrow more and the interest rates can go down, which will be beneficial for the economy. And for that reason, expansionary is the best option, in my opinion.
Rest of the group, Abhijit. See, without explanation, it is not going to work. Why your group choose expansionary?
Ma'am, because RBI, as the Federal Reserve Bank is not increasing their interest, commercial bank will lend more money, will take more money from Reserve Bank, and as the interest rates are high, then no one will take a loan from them, so they will be able to keep more reserves to them, and then they can invest in different sectors.
Okay. So all of you have given your strong point of logic. So just the situation clearly states that the commercial interest rates are not rising. That means the market rate of interest that is increasing, whereas the bank rate or the repo rate, which is being posed by RBI, that has remained unchanged. So this situation can be handled in two ways. One way is to do nothing. And this situation can be worked out, it can work out in a normal scenario. In a normal scenario, if you find that commercial bank starts raising rate, then of course it is its decision. RBI will not interfere in that, because through that commercial bank will generate more and more funds, more and more money supply into the system, and there will be more amount of credit creation. But on the other hand, if a situation is abnormal, it is the economy is not functioning well, then at that time, if commercial bank increases rates, then it is the duty of RBI to resort to moral suasion. That means the government will ask RBI to, through RBI, to tell commercial bank not to raise rates. Suppose if I go by the current scenario of COVID, and in all the commercial bank will start increasing rates, So in that sense, moral suasion is a best practice because government will say not to increase rates at the current scenario. So in this scenario, two answers can hold good. One is doing nothing during the scenario of normal, and second is moral suasion. But expansionary policy is not going to work for this condition because why you want to push money by increasing rates? As such, the economy, you can say that it is commercial bank are raising rate, but that doesn't mean that you will again go for expansionary policy. Is it clear? Situation number 4. Are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Interpret?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Situation number 5 says that the prices of sanitizers and masks have tripled in this month. The prices of sanitizers and masks, if you remember this incident, it also happened during when?
COVID.
During
COVID
COVID,
times.
when the retailer or the distributor, they started hoarding and escalated the prices. After that, government put its intervention in terms of putting a cap limit, ceiling limit. Yes, rest of the group. Abhijit, Tarini, Swagat. But Swagat,
Ma'am,
what
I
is
have
your
three
response?
reasons.
You have written the reason, but which is the solution? Say, pehle
Ma'am, I have
se.
written. Ma'am, 5, do nothing. Ma'am, I have written.
Acha. Okay. So all of you have given the responses. Abhijit, why do you say contractionary? Why your group has suggested contractionary?
As the prices are rising and common people will not be able to purchase mask at a higher rate, so the government will lower the prices so that maximum people can buy sanitizers and masks as it is a necessary thing in terms of COVID-19.
So do you think that इसको solution करने के लिए contractionary means, when you say contractionary, that means you are reducing rates, you are reducing the tax structure, you are increasing expenditure. So which activity of contractionary can help you in order to solve the scenario?
And, reducing rates of the mask and sanitizer will help.
Reducing rates of the mask, what is it, a contractionary policy mechanism? Okay, rest of the group says do nothing. Those who say do nothing.
Because increase in a price with a few product should not influence the policy decision because it's just because of the market demand, and this demand can fall or rise anytime within a shorter period of time. That's why you can't change the policy just because of the.
Those who say moral persuasion.
Ma'am, this could have been happened due to shortage in that particular month. I mean, the prices have gone tripled. So there is no reason to be panic and take some bold decision immediately. So I think people should be persuaded by the supreme power. That's it.
Ma'am, I felt like if some senior leader will be stating that don't pile the stocks, then we can decrease our stocks.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually we need to pursue them for this. Like when the government asked for putting a market cap. So I guess that was that was a moral
kind of
persuasion.
persuasion. That is a kind of persuasion act only. right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
contractionary is completely out of question for this situation, because prices of masks and sanitizer, they have increased for certain reason. So for that, as such, the economy is exerting a contractionary policy, but specifically for this situation, contractionary would not work that much. Okay, but on the other hand,
Ma'am,
yeah, yes, tell me.
Ma'am will go for do nothing, because in the pandemic situation, the crisis have formed, and also the demand has risen, and it is not a permanent situation. It will go away with the pandemic. When the pandemic goes away, and also the demand falls, and also it is not a strong economic indicator which will be concerned for. And for that reason, I think do nothing will be the best option for this situation.
Okay, so I will take with both. Moral persuasion would be one of the factor, but doing nothing can also convince in terms of, if you want to see that how things can self-correct itself. So for that matter, doing nothing can also work, right? So for that, those who go with do nothing or moral persuasion, they are going with a score. But those who have gone for a contractionary and other mechanism, that would absolutely get ruled out. Okay, so these are the 5 situations. Similarly, next situations will carry out in the next class. So till now, the scoreboard says the group 1 with all the correct answers. The group 1 representing Anirban, Debashis, Janjamne, Neha, Ritu, Shakti, and Subham Pariram. So group 1 till now it is leading with 5 score. Group 2 is the lowest in the lead. Then followed by group 3, group 5, and group 6 are in a tie, score 4 each, and group 4 with 3 score. So this is the scoreboard, but don't change the decision. Whatever change has been done, you have as a policy maker come up with your own decisions. Okay.
Ma'am,